Let me guess, you signed up for every free lead magnet and binged on every marketing YouTube video and thought, what am I missing? Why isn't my business exploding like that? Well, I can tell you, you're not alone. Whether you're just getting started or have an established business, entrepreneurship can be really lonely. But it doesn't have to be. Overcoming your fear of launching or building your personal brand or figuring out how to scale, it shouldn't be holding you back. It should be empowering you. On this podcast, we're going to deep dive into the mechanics of what it takes to build your brand, make your mark, and stake your claim in the digital marketing space. I'll be chatting with people from all walks of life and stages in their careers. I will be getting inspiration from real experts who will share their actual strategies and techniques to grow loyal and raving followings and sell more stuff. This is entrepreneurship from people who are already there making it happen. My name is Jeff Mendelson. Join me and welcome to the One Big Tip podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Jeff Mendelson, and this is the One Big Tip podcast. And today I'm really pleased to have with me Richard Lau. He is the owner and CEO of Logo.com, an AI-powered logo maker that has the ability to design a unique logo for your company in just a few minutes. I don't want to steal much of Richard's thunder here. I'll let him explain it a little bit better. So, Richard, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm very excited to be here. It's just an honor. I've really enjoyed listening to all of the past episodes on One Big Tip. I've gotten some great tips myself. Yeah, so Logo.com, it's an automated logo maker. We're really excited about it. We've got a team locally here in Vancouver, all onshore developers. I tried the offshore and it didn't work out for me personally. So now we've got full-time software developers here in Vancouver. And we are front-ending the design work so that instead of it taking 2 or 3 weeks or even, 2 or 3 days, if you're paying for expedited service from your logo designer, we're squishing all of those conversations that you have, all that back and forth, and we're squishing it down programmatically so that you can, within 20 minutes of you arriving on Logo.com, you will then have a unique, custom, professional logo designed for your company. And it's something that you have to see to believe. We've done over 10 million logos. Just come to Logo.com, check it out. But that's not the one big tip that I'm talking about today, but that is what we're doing. And we're excited to do it.
So what's interesting here is that when you have, we're talking a little bit on the pre-call about how you've been in the domain business for a while now, where you've had a number of these one-word, very highly targeted domains and have had a lot of success with them. And one of the things that's really interesting is how you're leveraging those names so that you can create these really amazing services around them, right?
Absolutely.
What were some of the other domains that you've been involved with?
So the biggest domain that would catch people's attention is resume.com. And so about 7 years ago, we were able to put together a team to buy that domain along with the plural resumes.com. And we built out we built 3 times a resume builder. And I say 3 times because we tried it offshore. We tried a mix of onshore and offshore. And then the third iteration was completely onshore. And we actually each time threw away the other site and just migrated an entire back end. And my goodness, that's a lot of work. But what we knew is if we could take resume.com, deliver to users what they're expecting to see there, we just had to be as good as our competition. And so when we started, we're just like, okay, we just need to be as good. But our competition was quite good. And so, it took us a while to get the hang of it, but we finally built a product that was just hitting on all cylinders. We got to over 4 million users, and then we sold to Indeed.com. And so now it's kind of, dust ourselves off, lather, rinse, repeat. We've got Logo.com and, we don't have the plural, but we have Logo.com. And we're doing the same thing. And we're taking all the lessons that we've learned from building Resume, and we're doing it again. We're delivering to the users what it is that they're wanting. We're solving an actual pain point in the industry, and we're delivering it at a price point that is going to making our competition shudder, because our target market is $500 and less, and we're going to deliver you a logo for less than $100. And our packages start at $20. So it makes people freak out that are in the industry, but we think that that's where the future is. So let's get there now.
That's really interesting. So I think that the pretext to all this is that even if you happen to have an amazing domain name, whether it's a brand name or whether it's a one word thing, that's really not where the value is, right? Because you had to spend a lot of time building the value of resume. Because if you just took the word resume.com, and got 5 writers to write resumes for you, that's not building content. Right. Yeah. Sure. You paid $500,000 for or whatever it is, for a domain like that. Right. But you're not really building value. Right. Let's talk about the one big tip, because this is a really interesting part. How to use Haro, which is helpareporter.com or help a reporter out, how to use them to help build your business and to build more content so that people will know more about your product. So what's interesting for me is that I subscribed to Haro a couple of years ago, and I got instantly inundated with all those emails, with all those requests for information, right? And I'm sitting there like, I don't have time to sit through this. Even though I had a couple of VAs working for me, I'm like, this is it's not profitable. It wasn't exactly, like the niche where I wanted to be in, something after a couple months, I just tuned it out. I just completely got rid of it. You, on the other hand, and this is your one big tip, is to use Haro the other way, where you are the publisher. Let's talk about that. How do you use Haro
Absolutely.
to build your content marketing machine?
Yeah. So Jeff, I had exactly the same experience with Haro. So helpareporter.com, you go in and you sign up either as a contributor or as a publisher. And I signed up as a contributor. You get the same newsletter, but the issue that I saw and I experienced was identical to the issue you experienced, where you're just inundated. You do reply to some, and your published rate is so slim. It's very, very small. And so I was like, well, if I'm out here contributing my heart out, and I'm putting my heart and soul into these answers, I just felt like the ugliest guy in the room. I wasn't getting published, and I was like, well, but I see value here. I see people like myself putting effort in and not getting published. So let's turn this around. What if I can turn this around and do some roundups? And so we do what we call business roundups. And so we signed up our site as a publisher. We set up a blog, and rather than just constantly asking people about logos, our target market for logo.com is small business people, right? So let's talk about issues and interviews with people that our target market is interested in. So if you go to our blog is not all about logo and logo design. It's about, this entrepreneur, and let's do an interview with them and what was their journey like. Or here are 5 tips for working from home, or here are 50 Zoom virtual backgrounds. We mixed it all up. But what we're most excited about today for the one big tip is using Haro to create business roundups for your blog, because you're getting free, unique content that people are pouring their heart and soul into, and then you grow those contributors. So you might put out a question, and if it's a decent question, you will get 30, approximately on average, you'll get 30 contributions. Of those 30, I would say 50% are decent, good content that you're going to say, I think this is valuable for me to pass on to my blog readers. So then you take those 15 people and you connect with them on LinkedIn. You grow those relationships. It's not just like a newsletter sign up. You're like, I'm making a legitimate a LinkedIn connection with you because you've contributed to a business roundup that I've now published on my blog. Then you reach out to those people and say, would you like to participate in an interview, a one-on-one interview? In your case, it could be an actual podcast guest. But in our case, and I think in a lot of your listeners' cases, they'll have a blog. So you're like, hey, I found your contribution valid. It was well written. Would you like to participate in an interview? And we'll do a one-on-one interview. And that interview you can actually send it by email. You could create a Google Doc where you've got questions that you send to them, or you could use a Google form. And so that those questions go directly into a spreadsheet, and then they're more easy to manage. But those are the steps. You use Help a Reporter. The caveat is that your site has to be in the top, I think it's 1 million Alexa. So you sign up with helperreporter.com as a publisher. You reach out with valid business questions that match your target audience. They don't necessarily have to match your product. Okay. Then you grow those relationships using LinkedIn, and then you convert a subsection of those into one-on-one interviews. And you've got valuable, relevant content that your target audience is going to appreciate. And so you're delivering value, and whether the contributors turn into customers, or whether your readers appreciate the info, or the contributors as they're promoting the fact that, hey, I just got published on this blog on their social media. You're just throwing things around, and you're not sure where that next sale is going to come from, but it's a variety of different avenues, all within this one big tip.
So what's cool about this is that you are getting other people to write the majority of your content. You'll probably still need a content editor or some kind of blogger on your staff in order to consolidate all this, right?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you are creating exponentially more content than you could put out on your own for, let's just say, the same amount of money, right? If you're paying a blogger, $30, $50 an hour, or whatever it is, you are now getting all of these different sources to contribute to you as well.
Absolutely.
How many of those sources then turn into customers for you, or turn into other lucrative relationships within your sphere afterwards?
Yeah, so we are growing our contributors into one-on-one interviews. And I would say approximately 5% of the contributors turn into one-on-one interviews. And we're actually being very selective. We're not just saying, hey, everyone come be interviewed. We want to find people that have a very large social media following, so that when we're publishing those one-on-one interviews, we know that they're going to get retweeted out or promoted out on people that have a large social media following. So we're not just about creating unique content. If you did want to go that avenue, which is a valid one, I talked to someone and they were using this method, and they were publishing 5 interviews a day, 5 one-on-one interviews a day. That's a crazy amount of content, and we've chosen not to go that route. We're choosing to go. So there's more free content, free, unique, targeted content out there than you can use if you use this method.
That is an amazing tip. So I guess the last part, which you only emphasized at the very end, is that you're also vetting, how much of an influencer they are, how big their social followings are as well. You're not just going after, anybody who happens to write well, right? You're also looking at how many Twitter followers they have, how many Instagrams, how many,
right,
in all these different places.
Yes, that's our method. But that's not necessarily the best method for everyone, because some people might want to take the long tail, and so they're like, okay, well, Richard at logo.com, he's only publishing 1 of these a week. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to publish 5 a day. I'm going to publish 35 interviews a week, and I'm going to go after the long tail. So the digital marketer who's brand new, if he's out there promoting himself, and someone then decides to Google his name, well, then your blog is going to come up on the first page because you're the only one that's gone out and done a one-on-one interview with him.
Right.
We've chosen not to do that, but there are definitely people out there doing that. And it does add legitimacy. It does deliver value. Someone who, and you're able to then get visitors to your blog based on people who are searching on this long tail search of this of someone's name who is new on the scene in the industry.
Amazing advice. Thank you so much for that. Richard, can you please let everyone know where they can learn more about you and how they can reach out to you directly if they'd like to learn more?
Absolutely. So the best way to reach me is actually richard@logo.com. I live on email. The other place I live on is LinkedIn. So happy to connect with people. So Richard Lau, Lau. So it's just find me on LinkedIn, search Richard Lau, logo.com. I'm the only one that's going to come up. And, those are definitely the best places. You can also check me out at lau.com, lau.com. Currently, I've got that forwarding to my charity bike ride that I'm doing in August, 120 miles in 2 days to raise money for cancer research.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. Richard, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. This is excellent and actionable advice. And looking forward to checking out Logo as well. Maybe getting a new logo for my podcast as well.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks so much, Jeff. I appreciate being on here.